It get hotter in the summer, yeah. Hotter in the summer. The winter don't stand no chance. It's hotter in the summer, yeah. Hotter in the summer. The winter don't stand no chance. Hotter in the summer.
Front of your back, be careful who you hugging, you dab. Cause these niggas ain't your brother like that. Don't really love you like that. From the land of snakes, trying to be a great. Trusting everybody that I love, that was my mistake. Turn me cold-hearted to a savage. If you fuck me over, I ain't giving out passes. Doing big shit, we ain't doing nothing average. Hotter in the summer if you ask.
It get hotter in the summer, yeah. Hotter in the summer. The winter don't stand no chance. It's hotter in the summer.
Went from wearing Chuck Taylor to Balenciaga. Sweaty think I'm rubbing on the genie bottle. Giving nada, saying nada, I'm just pushing product. I made my waves in the winter, now my summer hotter.
Better catch up.
Move too swift for all the lame shit. You asking for a favor, how I know we ain't the same, bitch. Watch how I in and out lane switch. They trying to earn cheese off a K, but they ain't switch.
Welcome back, G's. Welcome back. Okay. Good to see you all. Hope you guys are doing well here. Welcome back to another session. We're gonna talk markets today. It was a slow London session. Honestly, it was one of the slowest sessions I've seen so far. Almost fell asleep. Anyways, we have news right now in around 1 minute from now. We're not gonna hold you up too long here. I'm not gonna make it too slow. Let's get to work. Let's see what we have here. Let's get to the news first. And let's talk charts later. Let's do that. I think that's a good idea. We have gold sitting at 3547. Broke down a little bit today. Dollar ranging. Dollar CAD. Guys, look at that shit. We talked about it yesterday. We'll talk definitely. We'll talk about this setup. We talked about it. We talked about the dollar CAD. We've been waiting for this one. That might be interesting. We'll see. Anyways, we have news in what? 1 minute from now. The ADP non-farm employment is important, G's. ADP is important. We have to wait and see here. Came out negative. Is that gonna react? Is the dollar gonna drop? We're gonna find out. Is gold gonna push? Or is nothing gonna happen here? We're gonna see right now. The first news. And then later we have what? The initial jobless claims, the PMI at 10, blah, blah, blah. Tomorrow NFP, of course, as well. So anyways, it's gonna be, it could be very slow again. It could be very slow, volume-wise, could drive down here. But anyways, this is a setup I wanna talk about for sure. Gold needs to break higher. I'll tell you why in a second here. Good to see you guys. Welcome back to the streams. Let me see what we have here in the chat. We have MJ Pern, Vanessa, my VIPs, Adrian. We have the doctor, my friend, Ankit, my chin. Welcome back, my friend. Still here. Braden, Franklin, Timbo, Silky. Yeah, so many familiar faces. It's crazy. Rafal, my man. Oh my God. Reinhard, Nugi, Daniel, Relay, Mariana. Loving the vibes with you guys, as always. Okay, very good. Okay, so anyways, for the new members here, for the people that are new, if you haven't by now, okay, this is important. If you haven't by now, downloaded the LTA Trading Warm app. We're going to introduce more layers next week. I'm going to come with a whole bunch of things. This week, I purposefully introduced you to the two different, you could say, the two different layers, right? The CERC pattern, the CME pattern. Very simple. Two different patterns we explained. We talked about it as well. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit more higher time frame. A little bit more macro stuff. You understand why. It's all going to have an impact on our trading, on our decision making. Our goal is to get to what? A 60% win rate with a 2-to-1. That is the ideal case scenario. If I can get to a 60% win rate on average with a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. We're making serious money. We're making serious money. So we're going to do that. We're going to talk about that here. But make sure you download the warm up if you haven't done it yet. It's completely for free. It's the first link in the description. And with that said, let's talk charts here right now. Dollar obviously in a range. It's to be honest, it's the most flat out range I've seen in a while here, especially during the first week of a month. But this is all because the NFP tomorrow. Okay, who is gonna trade the NFP? I want to see if we have any degens in the chat. By the way, let me see. Do we have any degens here in the chat? I know we have. I know we have. Soledad says, me realizes for sure. Thomas says, burned too many times. Bruno trades. Bonanza says, no, how is the news? The news is, for now, it's pretty bad, pretty normal, but nothing special. We have more news in what, like 10 minutes? Yeah, a lot of news today. A lot of guys purposefully do not trade this session just because of the fact that, you know, you're dealing with a lot of news, especially the Forex traders. The reason why is because, let's say New York opens at 8 a.m. and then you have news at 8:15. Then you have news at 8:30. Then you have news at 9:45. Then you have news at 10. Right? So you're constantly, you know, waiting for something new to happen. And then you start looking at 10, and then, you know, you have no idea if the setup's already played out, or if the volume already kicked in, or if price already moved. So anyways, a lot of people will not trade today anyways. But yeah, we're gonna still look at a couple of setups regardless. I was looking at the dollar, CAD, Canadian dollar is something I have been talking about already yesterday for a while. I wanted to look at the Canadian dollar and keep a close eye on it because it's such at a very important level. And I think you have to really pay attention to this one. For gold right now has been slowing down here. We do got some signals that we might be a little bit overvalued against the dollar right now. Okay, one of our signals in the in Discord. Let me show you actually what it is. For people that are outside of our Discord, I have no idea what they're talking about here. But for the people that are in our Discord, know exactly what I mean with that. Okay, so let's quickly highlight this. It's what we call the alert system. We have built an alert system, and we have back-tested data. It's showing us these alerts, these things that matter. Okay, so if you go here, we got a trading view alert saying gold is overvalued against the dollar. If you go to this one, you click on it, we go to our section here, we see what happens when we are overvalued against the dollar on the daily time frame. Okay, this is on the daily time frame. And you can see that when you're overvalued, you tend to top out, and when you're in a downtrend, and when you're in an uptrend, you tend to slow down or consolidate for a while, for a longer period of time here. That could be for today, for a couple days as well here. So it's just a reading that we receive. Also, when we're undervalued, for example, you can see how you print out these bottoms here very well on the daily time frame. It's actually crazy accurate. The accuracy is really high. But the thing is, this is all about the higher time frame, right? So if you really want to trade that shit, you know, you can either be a swing trader, higher time frame, or you go to the lower time frame, you wait for a lower time frame confirmation. And this is, of course, where the volume profile comes into play here. But you can see every time when we're undervalued, you know, we tend to set in a perfect bottom here, right there. I marked them out as gray, and the losers, I marked them out as red. So you can see this one didn't play out, this one didn't play out. But overall, you can see how these bottoms are getting printed like crazy when there is an undervalued reading. And when there is an overvalued reading, it tends to not really predict the top very well, but it tends to consolidate for a while, okay? So it means that the volatility comes down. Why? Because you're in a macro uptrend on gold. Gold is rising, it's breaking out to the upside, macro uptrend. So undervalued readings are way more powerful than overvalued readings, but it's still something that we pay attention to regardless here. So that gives me the idea that when I take a trade on gold, let's say I'm still gonna take a long setup. that means one thing, that I have to at least adjust my risk for a certain period of time. And that means I would halve my risk in some cases, some scenarios. I would lower my risk pretty much, right? And that's how I operate around real data. Okay, these are the layers that I look at that are to me extremely important. Another layer on gold is the seasonality. We'll talk about this also a little bit later here, which is more looking like this. I have been talking about it on my IG a lot already, if you're interested in it. Seasonality is a big factor, by the way. But yeah, that's a whole other layer. We'll talk about this another time. Anyways, what we're looking for right now is the breakout of gold here to see if there is further continuation here. But I would not be surprised if we're going to see a deeper pullback. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so that is something that we're now waiting for, kind of what is going to happen around this area here. Now, clearly, we have been ranging here. We have been breaking down. If we break back above the range, there is a high likelihood we're just simply going to continue. Very similar to what we've seen actually. I would say not yesterday, because yesterday we saw more of a breakout right away and a quick retest and a continuation. We just missed out on our trade by literally like 1 point, 2 points, just a couple pips. The day before was a perfect example, right? We took that trade, price came down, or ranged, price broke down, price broke back up, created a new high, a new all-time high actually, and just kept going up higher. You could simply see something similar here as well here. Another layer is the higher time frame. If you look at the 12-hour, I love the 12-hour time frame, by the way. Like, I know that many people don't look at the 12-hour, but specifically with our concept, we have been looking at the monthly, the weekly, the daily, the 12-hour, and the 8-hour. And if you want to learn about supply and demand, we talk about it really deeply on the higher time frame here. 12-hour is really helpful, really good on gold here. If you understand exactly how to utilize it, you're gonna get into some major levels sometimes. Look at what happened on the 12-hour time frame on gold, by the way. Look at how we tapped into this 12-hour demand zone that was created on a Monday. These 12-hour zones are very good on the higher time frame, and that helps you just on the lower time frame with a confirmation as well here. So we already tapped into that, and we're gonna find that support there as well from a macro standpoint. So taking that back to the lower time frame, let's say you pull back. This is the 12-hour demand zone. This is also that range, okay? So on the lower time frame, that is the range that I would be interested in if you pull back. But I prefer to simply break higher and look for the continuation plays. That's just the easiest way to trade gold right now at the moment anyways. You know, because you're in an uptrend, really trying to short this right now at the moment is, in my opinion, just extremely tricky. I'd rather wait for the pullback for continuation or breakout and a continuation, you know, especially because it's all like news related and stuff. So if we break the highs, perfect. We're going to use that range right here, and I'm going to look at a setup above this level. You could say above the, you know, all right, this is futures. Wait 1 second. Let me see actually what it is. Yeah, 35.63. Yeah, 35.63. That's the area where yesterday the most volume was traded. Exactly, 35.63 or 35.64. That is the level where yesterday the most trades were executed. This is why you got rejected there today, by the way. Okay, this is exactly why we got rejected there today already. You saw that here. Price opened up, got rejected, sold off right there. We stay below that level. So if you break above that level, that is very bullish. That is a very bullish signal here. So gold really needs to go for us, for me to make it very interesting. Otherwise, pullbacks are just going to be more likely, in my opinion. Yeah, that's the gold. That's overall my gold analysis here. I'm going to just mark out the 12-hour zone, wait for price to pull back into that, or wait for price to pull back regardless into a lower range, which was created right here. Couple levels, or price breaking out. Then you have this consolidation. You know, we could see this as the manipulation, and then we could see this as the expansion, and then this is where we will be entering a long position right there. And that's the exact same setup as we took Tuesday, pretty much. Ankit says news under 4 minutes. Yeah, we have some more news coming right now, so you know, the sooner the better, in my opinion. And then, yeah, gold. Then I want to talk about this one, potentially the dollar CAD. I think the dollar CAD is very interesting. Why? We are in daily supply right now at the moment. The daily candle opened without a bottom wick. It's super important. No bottom wick here on the daily. Dollar CAD open, tapped into daily supply. So if the dollar comes out weaker or news comes out bad for the dollar comes down, this is going to get rejected right here. We're going to see that rejection happening. We already got rejected from weekly supply here also. All right, just so you know, this was weekly supply. Price tapped into that already before. Price is now trying to break up. We are now in daily supply right here. On the lower time frame, we talked about this exact level, and that is this range right here. All right, the fixed very low, the fixed PUC. Now, when would I take this trade setup? I would take this trade setup if you go, let's say, right here, we would break down below this level. This is why we're holding here right now, by the way. Look at this. This is exactly why we're still bouncing off of this level here. But if we close here below this level, below the 13813, I see a very clean 2-to-1 setup back towards this range to the downside right there. The price needs to close below, and then I'm shorting dollar CAD as well here if that's the case. So that is a setup I was waiting for already for what, 1 or 2 days. So we're gonna find out. Okay. Investing.com tells us that we have news in 1 minute. The initial jobless claims. Let's see what happens there. And hopefully we're gonna see some movement, because otherwise we have to wait until 10, and you pretty much know how it goes from there. Lorenzo, what do you think will happen with the FOMC? Will there be a rate cut? Yes or no? Well, the best way to look at it, let's talk about this after the news, because then you understand exactly where to look at it yourself. It's very accurate, man. It has been extremely accurate looking at the Fed rate monitor tool. It tells you the percentage chance that we're going to see a rate cut. Usually, they're pretty damn accurate. Brady says, is that CAD setup considered A+? Yes, exactly. That's what we call the A+ setup. We have been talking about that exact, indeed. Yeah. Okay. Any reaction? Amazing reaction, by the way. Wow. Oh my God. Crazy. FOMC. Yeah, FOMC. So go to here. Just go to Google, your best friend. Type in Fed rate monitor tool. Click on this one, or the Fed watch. Doesn't really matter. You can also, yeah, click on this one. 13 days from now. If it's working. Yeah, exactly. 97.6% chance right here. We're going to see rate cut. Okay. 97.6% chance we're going to see rate cut. The question though is, does it mean that the dollar has to drop because of that? Not really. The expectation is yes, but because everyone expects it, you always know what happens, right? We already saw a huge drop when Jerome Powell was talking like 2 weeks ago on the dollar. So it could mean that it's already priced in, to be really honest with you. Like gold has been rallying like crazy. Also, already for like, what, 2 weeks now or a week and a half. So also pay attention to this. No, longer, by the way. Wait, like, yeah, like 2 weeks. Yeah, dollar is just holding up. It's actually holding up very well. If you look at it, it's pretty straightforward. Dollar is trying to break higher still. This is why I say if the dollar cat turns around and it breaks that low, the dollar will be breaking down here. That's when gold starts pushing up. That's when gold starts breaking new highs, etc. So the fact that gold gave us that signal right here in our alert system, could indeed come to fruition here. Because if this happens, then gold will drop slightly lower towards these lows. And then, yeah, we're going to see something like this, you know. Price comes down, taps into the range, potentially then continues up if the dollar can break further. What I want to see is, obviously, breakout, pullback, boom, continuation. That's the easiest. Trading with the trend is always so much easier, so much more effective, so much more clear for many of us anyways. No rate cut since they started increasing it. No rate cut. No, really small chance here. KB Capital says, could be buy the rumor, sell the news, sell the fact. Price could have been priced in already. We have seen this so many times. So many times. Yeah, 100%. 100%. We've seen this a lot, yeah. James says, boss, can you check the Euro USD? Many of you guys have been asking also to do some commentary as well on YouTube. If you have any ideas, I'm gonna open a channel. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. You know what would be cool on days like these? While we're waiting for setups. This has been requested a lot also in our community. And that is just doing some commentary on like YouTube videos in the industry, trading content, whatever. IG trading content, whatever the case may be here. So I'm probably going to open a channel for everyone where you can post your clips, you can post your whatever you want me to look at or whatever you want me to watch. We can watch it. We can do that. Especially while we're waiting for our setups to play out sometimes on slow days. I think that will be a good format for us to have anyway. So let's do that. We're going to set it up in our Discord soon. Phyllis says, are you up to roast people if you see a video of another influencer or you stay neutral? I say whatever I want to say. Whatever I want to say, I'll say, my friend. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We don't have to take it that serious. You don't have to take it that serious, by the way. People make videos about me. Don't have to take it that serious. Fahim says, gold is melting. Bro, what the fuck? Gold is melting? Like, are you on like the 10-second time frame? Gold is melting, guys. Five pips. 5 pips. No, anyways, I think it's holding up really well. You see the range here still for now. Yeah, if you break down and you start breaking, you pull back. Yeah, we're going to see a lower time frame 5-minute CME play playing out. Yes, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a 5-minute CME play. This is the New York Open, right? This is kind of like your London session. So then price comes up, breaks down, pulls back, gets rejected, continues down lower. That's a 5-minute setup that I could see playing out if indeed price comes down here. It's very tricky though, especially in a macro trend, higher time frame uptrend, all these layers. Very tricky to start trying to scalp gold lower time frame short for that particular reason. So yeah, could easily could just simply hold up. It's super strong anyways. Fahim says, I'm just kidding. I am long 30 lots. Bro, see LTA win section. Is this you? Bro is cooking. What's your entry though? 35, 39.6. Okay. 35, 39.6. That is there. I mean, you're good. KB Capital says, don't fight the higher time frame trend weekly and daily and you will never blow the account. Yeah, I really want gold to break the highs, to be honest. I really want gold just to continue to go higher. It's going to be much easier. Boom, clear setup to me. If this is the case, I will be much happier for long setups. Or price needs to just actually just come down and pull back here towards the 12-hour demand zone that we talked about. That's right there, 12-hour demand. Range. Retest and then boom. Continuation. I would love to see something like this here. I would love to see it break as well. If we have to wait until the news at like what, like 10, then yeah, we'll see. It's 1 hour from now. It's not that far away, but still, we'll see. We need volume. That's all we need. That's just the reality. We need thick volume. Okay. I'm not talking about volume. I'm not always talking about huge candles. That's not necessarily big volume. What I mean with big volume is thick volume. Okay, so when we have like a wick here, okay. Let's say we have a wick and price comes in it right here and you see the thick volume. This is thick volume, thick, right here. Thick, pushing up higher, boom, 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 movement, okay? Now look at gold. Thick. tick, tick. That's the key difference, okay? So tick volume is what we want, because that shows that a lot more orders actually are getting executed. And that's when, for me personally, the probability of my trading goes up like that significantly here, okay? Because you have to understand, if less orders are getting executed in the marketplace, regardless, right? Less orders are getting executed. And what does that mean? Well, if less orders are getting executed, there is more chance of what? More chance of manipulation. It's really hard to manipulate volume. It's really hard to manipulate high volume. But you guys know, if you haven't traded NFP before, then you're going to see what's going to happen. We're going to close the week strong. Okay. I want to end the week in profits, though. I don't want to make any unnecessary. We lost it for yesterday after a 4-hour win the day before. So 2-1 setups on a Tuesday, one loss on a Wednesday. So that's a 3-hour net profit. I want to stay above that this week. I don't want to. I don't care. It's my money. I don't want to lose more money. I'm willing to take a trade if the setup is very good, but I don't want to unnecessarily force anything that I don't need to trade if there's no reason to anyways. What's the next news? Next news is the PMI. And the New York Stock Exchange open is in what, like 45 as well. So many different layers still. My name is Lorenzo. You had a conversation with Gavin regarding a plan. Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, I'll message you. KB Capital, watch another pair, brother. If gold doesn't have buoyant, the money flow just not into one instrument. The thing is, bro, it's not about it's not gold. It's pretty much, if I'm looking right now at the market, unless you start looking at specific like Forex pairs right now, there are not that many clean setups. Australian dollar, look at that one. That was a setup that played out before, right before the stream. That was a setup, a short setup right before the stream here. Let me know in the chat if you understand this setup, if you understand this trade setup. Let me know. Let me know if you get this one. If you understand this, trade. Because this is actually a really good, this is a good setup. Just for reference, for the people that understand exactly what we trade, how we trade and everything, right? The dollar is aligned because the dollar is holding up above this trend for now. It's holding up very well, right? So the dollar is still trending, quote unquote, up from like an intraday perspective, okay? So that's bullish dollar for now. Australian dollar broke below this range. Very simple, right? So what people tend to do, right? And this is the biggest thing that I've learned. And I hope that you take this information, because it's so simple, but at the same time, so many people don't look at the market this way. Like, for some reason, they don't look to the left side of their chart. And what do I mean with left side of the chart? Many traders, they look at this, right? They see, for example, price pushing down. And the only thing that they are obsessed with is, let's say, this trend right here. So let's say this is the trend, and this is the only thing that they're looking at. So that means they're only going to look at what has been happening before here. What is this candle right here, right? It sells off there, right? Or this zone, or let's say this zone, or this for value gap right here. right? And they wait for price to pull into this. And this is the only thing that they're looking at right here. But the reality is that the real magic happens on this side, okay? The real magic happens on this side. What do I mean with that? Well, look at this. If we draw the volume profile over this range, and we forget about this stuff right here, then what are you going to see? You're going to see setups playing out over and over and over again, all the time, okay? You can take that range, and you can look for setups from that range. The moment you close below it, you know, we take setups from there, okay? This is what we call these CME plays, okay? They have patterns like this, right there, very, very clean. These things play out literally all the time, okay? But right now, you could see that today, for example, right before the New York Open, price came back. It pulled into this level right here, okay? This range, a lot of volume was traded in this range. That means that pretty much price leaves kind of a, how do you say that? A footprint behind, okay? This is the footprint, okay? This means that during this period between September 2nd and September 3rd, we were ranging, right? A lot of trades were executed in that range. Then we expanded to the upside, but then later we came back. This range is still relevant. Why? Because it leaves us with a footprint. If orders are executed and price breaks below that level, then we go back to this historical data. All the trades that were executed right here matter, okay? So this is, for example, a typical consolidation period. You have a larger expansion or manipulation, and then price reverses and it breaks below that initial consolidation period. What happens? How do you trade that? Price comes back. It taps into that range, and not just the range, it taps into the area where in that range the most trades were executed. And that's why we're getting rejected right here. That's why it acted as support here. But the moment we broke below it, eventually, right here, during the New York Open, we got rejected and we sold off. Right? That's why these patterns work, and that's why it's so important, because that's how you utilize volume. And that's why I much rather look at previous ranges, even when price is coming down. I look at not how can I long this. So this is the big difference. A lot of people will be looking at this level or at this chart right now, and they will be looking, let's say price comes down, and they will be looking here at where could I take longs from, okay? How could I trade long here? Where could I bounce from? What I will be looking at, if I'm bearish biased, I would be saying, okay, where can I take shorts from? Right, maybe from this range. Maybe from this range. Maybe from this range. And I will be looking at the moment price breaks below these structures and any retest of these levels, I will be looking to short it for continuation plays, right? That's usually the way we look at the market, because these ranges contain a lot more information and a lot more data. So yeah, it was pretty good play overall here for gold. Gold just needs to break. ADC says, Joe, my G, what's up? What's your thoughts on NQ? I think NQ is very similar, bro. I think NQ is just ranging, really flattening, no volume. If we break above this range, I still think we can look for higher continuation plays, similar to yesterday. But yeah, I do want to see the dollar cap breaking down here. I want to see it breaking below the structure. if we shift the structure here on the dollar CAD, we're gonna see the same thing. We're gonna see the same thing as on the Australian dollar, US dollar, the same setup. KB Capital says your concept is easily understood and it's based on accumulation, manipulation, and expansion from Wyckoff, ICT, your version plus volume to get precise entry is fantastic. It is very similar, but keep in mind, this is just one entry model. This is just one pattern, one entry model that we look at. So it's a fraction of the whole concept. Now, this is why I call it also LTA concepts, because LTA concepts is not a single approach, a single strategy. It's a system. Mojin, I got your book. It's amazing. Awesome, bro. Good to see you on the stream. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hello, Lorenzo. Nice to see you again. Streams. Greetings from Danang from Lithuania. Nice, my friend. Good to see you. The Daddy Trader, my G. Lorenzo, from a seasonal point of view, Ethereum usually breaks down in September. Using the volume, I'm waiting for a retracement around 3,800 to long. What is your opinion? We can check it real quick if you want. We're waiting for the New York Stock Exchange to open. I hope to see the volume coming in by then. 3,800 is where's 3,800? Uh, 3,800 is weekly demand. If there is one thing that we cannot neglect with crypto, with anything, on crypto, it's higher time frame. People are obsessed with the lower time frame. They forget to look on the weekly. Simple weekly demand zones. Bro, if you would enter on any weekly demand zone, you would simply buy some ETH on any weekly demand zone, weekly or monthly. Knowing that in the long term it's gonna go up, you will be absolutely killing it. Just buy a little bit of Ethereum at a weekly demand zone, or take a leverage position, not too high leverage, on any weekly demand zone. Over time, you're gonna make money. So yeah, I think it's a valid pullback potential. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, we have seen this many times before. KB Capital, do you often put a limit order market or execution? Market execution. It's 90% of the time I put a market order because I want to see price reacting from that level. It can be just one candle print or a specific entry, but I want to see a reaction from a level or rejection that shows me that that level is relevant. That's it. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a limit all the time because it's just not, sometimes it smashes through it, right away. So I prefer market orders. Yeah, I prefer market orders. I mean, or a small limit order right below it, but I want to get filled within like a minute. What's the best broker for crypto? I use Phemex because there are, yeah, the most, at least the best regulated for me personally. Too many issues with regulations for me personally in on all the other brokers. So Phemex for me. There's a link in the description if you want to. What is gold doing today? Looks like we're seeing the 3600. I think gold right now, like we said before, is waiting for news. The London session, by default, the London sessions beforehand were, at least something happened during the London sessions most of the time so far this week. Like New York for sure did most of the work. And actually sometimes Asia did really well. Today, for example, reversal during Asia. But this is why I believe that if we do break back above the Asian highs, that continuation plays are just going to be the most likely. So I really prefer price to break higher. Oh, G says, hey brother, have you ever been to India? I've never been to India, my friend. There is one Indian restaurant in Bali here. It's fucking amazing. It's really good. Indian food is good. Yeah, bro, I'm not sure about the street food, honestly, to be really honest with you. As a European man, looking at the Indian street food, like, sorry, but my culture, my food doesn't look like that. just saying. But the culinary food, like the higher, the like Michelin star food of the Indian cuisine is absolutely, is next level taste. It's for sure in my top 3. Don't send me any street food videos. How to choose the proper range to set the volume to? Well, there are a couple ways to do it. So one way is really understanding the sessions very well and utilize a session range. That's one way of doing it. But the one way I like doing it is to keep it very simple, man. I look at structure, I see a range. Clearly, you can see that this has been consolidating, right? right here, clearly you can see it has been consolidating. Yes, it broke out a little bit here, but overall, price pulled back into the range right away. From here, it really just broke out, right? Simple. So that is to me a range that I could mark out. Then you have, for example, a period like this, right? Just mark out boxes like that. Like, don't overcomplicate it. You will see if price responds. When price reacts from any of these levels, you will see it. You will see it beforehand. How often using trend lines? Only for understanding this part. The 4 hour and the 1 hour. The intraday trend. This is something that I think is extremely valuable. Because if you want to find a way to connect macro, higher time frame, with lower time frame, and if you are a day trader that executes on the lower time frame, let's say you execute on the 15-minute, then understanding this intraday trend is the perfect hybrid to really merge lower with higher time frame. So I do believe that the intraday trend is important to understand. You can mark it out for sure. I would not trade from a trend line. I would also never trade from a trend line breakout, for example. I would never draw a trend line and trade it when it pulls back into the trend line, just for that reason, to go long. Or I would never trade when it breaks the trend line and then go short. I don't look at that at all. I just look at, is there any trend building, yes or no? Or are we just simply consolidating? Kieran says, I would stay out of the markets for today and tomorrow, and there is a hell of news, so better stay out than losing. Sometimes less is more. I agree. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes less is more. But I do want to see how the New York Stock Exchange opens up. I do want to see what gold does when the major news is behind us, because it's going to give me a lot more indication of what's going to happen here. Ankit says, markets are enticing me to enter. Bro, just look at gold right now. This has been the last 2 hours. Like, what do you want to do here? Like, literally, what do you want to do here? You want to enter a position, and do you want to sit in your position for an hour waiting for the news to come out? To go, it's like, you have to see, you have to break out. We have to see some momentum here. I have to see some volume. But it could, that's the thing. It could just suddenly in the next 20 minutes, boom. New York Stock Exchange opens up, volume comes in. Can you show your fixed range volume settings? Yes. Settings 128 and 70. It's all in the book. It is all in the ebook. All right, G's. So what we have done here, let me quickly show you what has been happening. In our Telegram, for the people who are in our Telegram right here, right now, you can go to reaction videos. And every day, post if you see an interesting video you want me to review on YouTube, you want me to watch while we're waiting for setups to play out, while we're waiting for the market to move, then this is the place where you can post it. I will review them on stream. We'll click on them, we'll watch them, we'll see what we can do. You can post anything, IG, YouTube, whatever you want. Whatever you want. Top G traders? No, please, no. No top G traders, please, no. Don't do this to me. I remember this very well. 1 year ago. Some people take this whole game way too serious, so, you know. Madison, Lorenzo question, please hear your NASDAQ moments. Appreciate your analysis. Same thing as I said today. If price comes up, continues to go higher, and breaks above this range, I think there is a larger chance of a continuation play. I was waiting for this move to happen here. Yesterday, we came down, we came up, we came down. There is no volume. No, volume needs to happen. We need to break higher. That's what I want to see. Must we deposit on Vantage to be part of your Telegram? There are two ways you can join our Telegram. One way is you pay a one-time fee, lifetime fee. The other way is you sign up with Vantage. You deposit $350 on your account. We obviously earn from that, okay? As well, every trade that you take, we make a commission on that. Right? That's how it works. It's a win-win situation because we'll talk about trading. You know we're serious. We're not these signal hunters or junkies. We're serious about trading. You understand that it comes from a good place anyways. And you don't pay anything. So it's up to you to decide. One-time fee or you sign up, you trade on your own broker like many people would already do anyways. And you trade with us. What do you think about FX Alex G, who did the 100 million? I don't know if he did 100 million. Did he do 100 million? Bro, what do you think about other streamers? I love many streamers. I talked about them all the time. I support other streamers. I watch other streamers sometimes as well, just for the sake of it. Why not? Because I do respect people, regardless where they come from. I really do respect people that go live on a day-to-day basis here. Okay? I mean, this is what we have been doing, right? We have been going live since the beginning. This is how we built our journey. You know, we lose live, we win live, we talk about our journey live, we grow live, we connect live, everything is live. So you can't really fake it, right? It's hard to fake it. I respect it in a lot of guys. What I don't respect, what I don't like personally, are you ready for this? Is that maybe once, so let me explain, because I understand how this game works. People join the live stream. They watch the live stream. They start, you know, getting into the rhythm, right? They start joining a community, start watching him, you start following someone's trades, right? And you want to win, take live trades with the person, make money. The live streamer right now starts thinking, oh shit, so like, shit, I have a huge responsibility for these people right now. I need to win. The only thing that I need to do is to just win. Just set in a W. All right, that's it. I don't care about my portfolio. I don't care about my growth. I don't care about me being seriously long-term profitable. I just want to get that W for that particular day. All right, so people are obsessed with that. So what they do after 5 pips, after 10 pips, after 3 pips, they say, TP1, guys, TP1. Bro, that's... That shit doesn't work long term. I can guarantee you. It doesn't work long term. It doesn't. If you have a massive trading account, right, and you take your TP1 and you have like an 80-90% win rate, and you have a massive account, sure. It's like, how do you expect people to really learn how to trade and to grow as a trader if they don't know, if you don't teach them how to lose? How to lose a trade, and how to deal with losses, and how to accept defeat, move on, because you understand the larger play, the bigger perspectives. The bigger perspectives. Many streamers get caught up in that W and not in actually learning how to trade or really teach people how to trade properly. That's the key difference. And that's why I was like, at some point, I was like, fuck this shit. To be real honest with you, because yeah, you know, you can go to stake.com. This is no promo. You can go to stake and make more money this way. Pawan says it works for the streamer, right? He gets cash flow from broker commission. Yeah, but if you provide really good value, obviously it's relevant. It's good information. Obviously, you know, time is money. Obviously, we all know that, right? So if you provide value, you should get rewarded for it. That makes a lot of sense. But you should also understand that your own trading should not depend on the outcome of others. And that's what I'm saying. Lorenzo, do you gamble? I don't gamble. No, I don't gamble. I don't gamble. I never really liked gambling. I did play poker, obviously. People call that gambling. I call that skill. I call that more skill-based over time than gambling, to be honest with you. But you would never see me putting money on a roulette table or whatever. That's just not my thing. Hey Lorenzo, what's the crypto broker you use? Mind showing? Yeah, the crypto broker. Let me show you. It's called Phemex. I mean, you probably heard about it anyways already. So for me personally, right? I'm from the Netherlands, and to me, getting on a broker getting on a crypto exchange extremely annoying. I can't trade anything. So Phemex is the way where I really started to thrive. So you have to go to this link right here. Click on this link right there. bit.ly/Phemex. Sign up. I cannot right now Indonesian. But anyways, you'll figure it out. I need to be on a VPN. Lorenzo, how do you keep yourself updated in the crypto space? In crypto space, oh, trading space. I mean, I don't know. Like you know, the trading industry is a weird industry, bro. Like, a lot of things happen. It's hard to keep up. You know, people get exposed. People get I don't know. It's craziness. You know better. Maybe you guys know better than me. You guys are the ones watching. You guys probably know a lot more, guys, in this industry. Maybe even other streamers. Funny Video says, why don't you automate your strategy? Why don't you pay for a few quants and programmers? I've already done that. The only thing is, it's so hard to automate my strategy fully because there are so many, it's not just purely mechanical, okay? The system is mechanical, but there is that like 20% discretionary process that you need to understand. And it's very hard to automate that part. Okay, so yeah, I've definitely been trying. I've definitely been looking into automation, algorithmics and stuff. A friend of mine, Tim Hutter, maybe you know him. He is programming all these things all the time. And he programmed like the CME for me. And he showed it to me. He's like, wow, okay. Like it does work, man. It fucking works. It does work. It works completely. This is the data that I received. 2,000 trades. It's very consistent growth. You can see these like dumps here, right? These periods where it doesn't work. Right there. Like these losing streaks. Like this is where the discretionary part comes in, right? This is where you want to improve this. Like this is like the framework. This is profitable without any other extra confirmations. So if I could do anything now to layer, let's say, in my own framework on top of this, you know, I could just make this so much better than automated. Okay, so this is automated, but I could make it 10 times better manually, discretionary. Yeah. But it's a good foundation and it's really good. Why I like it a lot is I just really like to know exactly if it actually does work. Because if you can automate something and that works, that means that if that is your foundation by itself, then you should be able to improve it. It's good to know that your system actually works, right? That's why I'm never worried about you know, losing streaks or whatever, because I just know that during periods of losing streaks, let's say this is like a losing streak, I just know that the long-term equity curve is green. So if you have losing streaks, long-term equity curve is green. Have you read Larry Williams' book titled Long-Term Secrets to Short-Term Trading? Yes, I've read almost every book of Larry Williams. Because he's the GOAT. In my opinion, he's the GOAT. He's the swing trade. He's the GOAT of swing trading. Okay. What I like about the book about the strategy is that he looks at X amount of days bearish and then a reversal after the 4th day. And if you backtest that, you're actually going to see a lot of improvement on the higher time frame. Nice. Nice. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Obviously, what needs to happen is you need to break down, pull back, reject, sell off, right? That's what needs to happen. That's what happened on the Australian dollar against US dollar. That's what we want to see on the Canadian dollar right now at the moment as well here. If you go to the Canadian dollar futures, which is the opposite of the dollar CAD, so just so you know, if this is the Canadian dollar futures, okay, now let me show you the dollar CAD so you understand it, because there is a chance I'll take a trade, and if I take the trade, I'll take it on the Canadian dollar futures myself, but it's the same thing as the dollar CAD. So this is the dollar CAD, this is the Canadian dollar futures. If I would inverse this chart, same thing, right? So right here, weekly supply, we talked about this, weekly supply, right here, weekly demand. Pulling back into this range. Where are we reacting from? Surprise, surprise. Look at that. That's not a surprise, by the way. You see? This is why the dollar CAD right now, short, is very interesting. We're just dealing with news. We're dealing with the New York Stock Exchange open. So we're forced to wait until that's done before I can execute. That's part of the rule. I cannot execute before news. Doesn't make sense to be in news for 5 minutes and then, or be in position 5 minutes and then close. But that's the setup for sure. Is for me this long or dollar CAD shorts. You can see how it reacted beautifully here for futures, right from this level here, which is obviously a rejection in this case on the dollar CAD from the fixed very low, right there. And this is why this will be very interesting. Juan says, Lorenzo, I want to start posting about trading mentality in Spanish. I've been going through many situations that allow me to gather valuable information. Can I mention your name or your job there? Bro, I need to get to know you a little bit. let's have a conversation. Like, tell me, what do I need to know, man? I appreciate the support though. There is one thing that I've learned though about this industry. I can guarantee you this industry is gonna absolutely blow up. People think that right now that there are so many retail traders, right? The amount of retail traders growing. If you look at the data, if you look at the statistics, like you guys are early. You have to understand, you guys are early. If you start learning about trading right now and you want to become a better version now, you want to start practicing, you want to take this shit serious, then you're going to be still early. You will see how many people over the next coming years are going to look for other ways to make money, new ways to make money. The amount of new retail traders that are going to come here, bro, it will be sickening. You will realize very soon. The industry is growing. Also another layer, the amount of money right now prop firms are making, like that can't stay undercover for too long, man. It's getting too crazy. So whenever people say like, yeah, retail is only a small percentage of this and that, right? There is truth to that. However, the retail trader is from my perspective, my understanding, much more relevant than they want to make you believe here. They make us feel like we're useless to the marketplace. We have no added value. We don't participate in that amount of liquidity. It's just a small percentage, blah, blah, blah. It's one of the, we're one of the fastest growing market participants in this industry right now. It's getting crazy. Lorenzo, do brokers want you to win? Brokers do most. You want to have the truth, or you want to have the what kind of answer are you looking for? You want to have the real answer or the cool answer? You can choose. All right, the truth about brokers. Brokers do not want you to win because most of the money that you deposit on a brokerage account is money that is not real, okay? So it's all what we call B-book. For people that are new to that, you have B-book, you have A-book. B-book means it's pretty much simulated money. So even if you deposit real money on these accounts, it will be still in the back end seen as simulated money. Why? Because they expect you to lose it anyways. So why would they lose your money if they can just keep your money because they know you're going to lose it yourself anyways? It's like, it's pretty genius. It's pretty crazy, but it's the reality, right? It's that like 1% that wins consistently that really like, you know, these are the people where brokers are scared of, like the guys that have been killing it, right? They start analyzing that guy. They start looking in the back end. What kind of trades is he taking? Is he a good trader? Yes or no? They start going through all the data. They start analyzing him. And then they realize, okay, shit, this is like a real trader. We're going to put him on a book. So we're going to put him on a real account. And we're going to connect all our money or a certain pool of money to him, and we're gonna let him trade with our money too, because he's profitable in the long term, because all the data is showing that already. So what they do is they actually leverage all the data of a trader, right? They look at the losing traders, they look at the winning traders. They copy the winning traders and they put them on a book, and they not copy the losing traders, put them on simulated accounts. So they keep all their money and they sell the data to institutions, okay? They sell the data to the institutions. I hope that makes sense. Because if you understand that 90% is unprofitable and you sell that data to an institutional company, then they have to simply do one thing, and that is to trade against the retail trader, to trade against the 90%. Should you care? You shouldn't care. Why? It doesn't matter. Because if you win and you're with a good broker, even if you're on B-Book, you're going to get paid out. You're going to get your withdrawal because they have calculated everything in. And if they see that you start winning, they put you on A-Book. So you don't have to worry about it. But that's the reality. Most brokers want traders to lose, even hedge against retail trader position, or just have B-Book as well. Yeah, exactly. It's genius. Because data is everything, guys. If you understand if you have access to how 1,000 people trade, then would you use that data, yes or no? Let me know. Let me know in the chat, please. If you would have access to 1,000 people's trades, they're taking trades every single day, and you will be able to have all that data, would you use it in your favor or not? All right, gold is pushing a little bit, by the way. Dollar is starting to roll over, but there is a but. We have news in like, what, 40... We have news in like 8 minutes. We have news in like 20 minutes. So we cannot take any position before 10 a.m. What's your opinion on hedge funds? Yeah. Yeah, I like hedge funds. I mean, why not? I would invest in a hedge fund. Striker, 100%, yes, I would do that. Yes, I would use the data. Yes, of course, everyone would use it. Everyone would use it, for sure. Because that's the real data. That's the real shit. If you understand how 1,000 people trade, you have a sample size of 1,000 people, and you know their history, and you know that on average they're losing money, then you should just do the opposite, right? It's pretty straightforward. Prop firms do the exact same thing, by the way. But anyways, while we're waiting for this news, I want to quickly talk about this setup we talked about here. This setup is a setup that we take very serious because of the following reason. Do you see how perfect that rejection is here at this level? If you were on stream yesterday, we talked about this setup when price was still there. Price was still here. Yeah, price was here. And we said that we want to see price coming to this level right there. The 13235. You see that? So where's price rejecting from right now? The 138235. Consolidation, expansion, retracement, continuation. Now we're looking at the internal 40 trade entry. What was the last range created before? You could see on the 5-minute. This was like a last clean range created before we saw that expansion. So this could then be called the lower time frame. After the CRC, the lower time frame C, the M, and the E. So the consolidation, manipulation, and the expansion. The trade entry that we're seeing here, this system right there, is the retracement of this range and a sell for the continuation. But we're dealing with news in 4 minutes and then 20 minutes. So I cannot take any trade before that. And that's the problem, right? I see that you no longer use the PSO. Yeah, the PSO is slightly below it. I think it's slightly below it. Yeah, slightly below it. You see that? Yeah, I saw it already. But it didn't have to mark it out because this level was already there. So that is the setup, right? It's the larger distribution that's taking place on the higher time frame. And that is the consolidation, the expansion, the retracement, larger distribution, right? This is a larger distribution. And then the internal manipulation. So larger distribution, internal manipulation. That's why this setup is a legitimate setup. And the daily time frame will also help us because we are also in daily supply. That makes it high probability. That makes it, to me, what I call an A setup. But there are some rules, and that is the entry criteria. And that is we cannot trade news. We have to wait for the confirmation internally. So, you know, the last thing that I want to see is that price starts moving a lot right now. And that news just flushes our trade already. Because that will be unfortunate, because then the trade will play out without me. But the setup is still legitimate. Let me know if you guys get it here. If you are new, maybe it will take a little bit more time, but these are like the setups that we trade. These are the setups that I've been trading. 80% of all the trades that you see here in August and July were all done by these two patterns. Larger accumulation distribution, and then sometimes the internal manipulation, not all the time. But it's these two patterns that we traded. And yeah, as you can see, I have losing days too. Like, look at these losing days. It's pretty, you can see the losing days are pretty there, right? In July, for example, I had 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 winning days. And I had 2, 4, 6, 7 losing days. Right? But the winners are a 2-to-1 on average. The losers are just a 1. So I win as, on average, 2 times more than I lose. So if I win 2 times more, I think we're back. Test. Are we back? Nice. So yeah, you see 7 losing days in July, 10 winning days. That's a lot of losing days. But the risk to reward is where it's at, right? So the risk to reward really made us the money here. This is where we're up $52,000 in the month of July, just because of the fact that we're winning 2 times more than we lose. And we win slightly more. We have slightly more winning days than losing days. But it's not significantly more. Hey Lorenzo, do you know about Matt Dunleavy? Matt Dunleavy. I love his concepts also. It's pretty dope. What do you think? I mean, after the trade setup, or if there is no trade today, I will definitely watch it. Let's go on YouTube. We'll check out some videos. Let's check out some other streamers as well. All right, 9:45 news came out bad for the dollar again. Again. And look at this, guys. If you look right now at the internal structure, okay? So we talked about the larger CME, CERC. This is the C, this is the E, this is the R, and then this is supposed to be the continuation to the downside, right? That's the C. And then internal, we're talking CME. So internally, we're talking the consolidation here, the manipulation here, and then the expansion here. Now, if you draw the range here, you draw this range, you're going to get 3 key levels, right? You're going to get the value area high, the value area low, and the point of control. All these levels matter. You can see the value area high here. Look at how price responded from the value area high. Look at that. Look at this reaction. Price broke down. Where is it holding right now? It's holding at what? The fixed value area low. Look at that reaction. You see that? So what needs to happen? If we want to look at the trade, we need to break below that, close below that, then pull in one of our key levels, turn that into resistance. That is the setup. That's the entry. Then the stop loss will go above the range high. So you don't look here. I'm going to put it there, or I'm going to put it above this high. Or I'm going to put it above this candle wick. I don't care about that. I care about this range, this high. So let's see if we can break down, if news is going to help us break down and then continue here. Yeah, and for the people that just always, there are always people, right? I can show my results. I can show the simulated results. I can show the community results. And I think the best results will always be the community results. I mean, I can show you whatever, but if the people in the group, in the community are winning, you know, even our Telegram, then that's all, in my opinion, that matters, right? Guys that are getting funded, guys that are following the exact same system is #1 priority. Because I've been in groups where people show, hey man, I become funded, but the problem is they were all trading slightly different. We don't allow that. We want people to trade the exact same way. because we understand that that system works, and because people are trading the same way, 90%, they have their own, of course, their own edge, but 90% is just the same analysis type. You're gonna get real results, and all the results that come in are gonna be results from people that are just overall gonna be, you know, legitimate. You're gonna say, okay, these are results because the system is the same and the consistency is there. So yeah, sometimes maybe you need that extra little proof, but my suggestion to you is to really just test it out yourself. The book is free for a reason, right? So you have, in essence, you have all the tools you need. You have the book, you can follow the live streams. You have a lot of things that you can do in order to just start and experiment. All right, I think 9 minutes left. 9 minutes left, and then we're done with all that. We're done with all the news. Dollar is getting suppressed right now. We really want to break down. Let's see if some volume comes in, guys. Really. Hey, Minister of News, Lorenzo, watch this video. Okay.
Way to identify accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. But first, what is AMD? Put simply, price will first accumulate where it just consolidates inside a range. Then it will manipulate by taking out the liquidity just below that consolidation. And finally, it'll distribute and move higher. Now, the trick to easily identifying this is just incorporate time. By looking at Asia as your accumulation, London as your manipulation, and New York as your distribution. And here's how you do that. When you get to the chart, start by highlighting what Asia did. If it accumulated like it did here, then as soon as London opens, expect a manipulation low.
So here's the thing already that I see right away. Sometimes you're going to see this happening, right? It's not always going to be Asia. It's going to be consolidating. It's just going to do this. London comes, it manipulates. New York comes, it continues higher. Sometimes Asia and London consolidates, New York breaks out, right? The actual amount of times, if you really look at it, that this actually does happen is not as much as you actually think it is, or as he makes it seem it is, okay? But it does happen, for sure.
Lower to take out Asia's low. Then wait for New York to open. Now, because London is already manipulated, all New York has to do is distribute to complete the AMD cycle. And this is where you can capitalize on it by entering a buy just before it does. Now, save this before scrolling away.
Wow, what a video. Not only does he break it down, not only does he explain it, but then he shows you a real world example of exactly how to look.
The reality is, though, this was our exact trade this week on a Tuesday, right? If we literally look at gold 2 days ago, that was pretty much the trade that we took. So yeah, it's true. There is that AMD here that you see, the A, the M, the D. For us, it's like what we call, quote unquote, the CME. But the key difference for us is I would never try to enter from somewhat of what we call a fair value gap, or find, let's say, the right order block or the right demand zone or something like that, because Like I would not know what to pick, for example. Some people would just go for any fair value gap. I would say, you know, you have this gap right here. This is also a fair value gap. This is a fair value gap, right? So it's still a zone. I would really prefer to work with key levels with volume that were placed within this particular range. This is why I'm a big fan of understanding the range before, because these levels in that range give me the exact level, the exact precise entry level that shows me exactly what to look for. But yeah, it is indeed the same shit.
Look for it. And there's a reason why he is the #1 highest paid prop trader in the world. You could tell just by watching that video. Amazing, amazing, full of education. And I think it was absolutely sick. I think it was sick. I would watch it 10 more times if I were you. Unbelievable job.
This is without
Big Daddy Max, my friend. Still holding up. Still holding up. 4 minutes for news. What about this one, guys? What if you just simply just... You know what we should follow? We should follow this guy right here. Let's see if we can follow this guy right here. Where is he? Who's this guy? Trick that most traders miss. In TradingView, you go to the 30-minute time frame, you open the settings, click on events, and now turn on the session breaks. Now you can see the open and close of each trading day. Now open the toolbox on the left side and select the fixed range VAR profile and put it across the previous trading day range. Now what you see are 3 key levels: the point of control, the value area low, and the value area high. The POC is the strongest one. It shows you exactly where the most trades were executed in the previous trading day. And this isn't some random line in your chart. It's the zone where... We're going to talk about this exact strategy, by the way. This is part of the LTA concept. We just haven't been there yet. We're working towards this process. We're going to talk about this later for sure. Serious money stepped in, not just noise. If a clean trend is formed and price pulls back to the previous trading day, this is when you want to execute. Now pay attention to what price does when it comes back to any of these key levels. And as you can see, it snaps, rejects, and shows a clean follow through. And the traders who skip this, they keep wondering why their setups never play out clean.
It's an unbelievable strategy written by and described through by, I believe, Mr. Steidlmeyer. I believe Mr. Steidlmeyer, who wrote Markets and Market Logics, one of the GOATs of trading, and so many people, including ICT, has stolen his work and tried to reformat it. But Mr. Steidlmeyer, one of the most unbelievable, knowledgeable, and profitable traders ever. Check out his fucking body of work. And he's describing one of his strategies who created POC to the T there, and it is a wonderful, wonderful video for educational purposes on how you can trade something.
We're going to talk about this a lot. We're going to talk about this exact setup later on when we get the opportunity. It's that previous daily range, the previous daily levels. It's going to be really, really good for you guys also. Anyways, back to the charts. We have around 1 minute for the news. Let's see if the dollar drops and gives us that confirmation. In the meantime, guys, for the news in 30 seconds, let's smash up that like button. Let's get to work. Let's smash up that like button. Let's get back into the algo. It is time to, you know, just help your boy, man. We're going to be here from a Tuesday. We're going to be here Tuesday, a Wednesday, and a Thursday. So if you want to learn how to trade, you want to learn this for free, you want to be here with me, you want to go to thick and thin with me, you want to understand and dissect the data, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. EST, that's your place to be. You know what I mean? Okay, done. Bullish or 52 is neutral, very neutral. It's okay. It's pretty mixed data. Dollar is moving, slightly pushing up higher. Dollar CAD is holding. Didn't broke below our level for shorts. It's still holding above the 138. You see how this level reacts? And do you see also, by the way, how price by default, like where is the fair value gap here? Where is the order block here? You tell me. I don't see the fair value gap. I don't see the order block. I see the fixed value area low right here that we couldn't break below. We couldn't break below it. We call them the hidden support and resistance levels. Or you could better say the real support and resistance levels. So let's see if we can break it. And if it just starts stagnating, there is no reason here to stick around and trade, like at least trade. Because then we just know for a fact that the dollar is not going to break down or push up higher. It's just going to range the whole day, pretty much until the NFP comes out tomorrow. And then after the NFP, we're going to see the big moves happening. In the meantime, let me know where you guys are from, because a lot has changed over the last year. I'm seeing some OGs. I'm very curious where you guys are from. Are you guys European, American, Asian, Indian, Brazilian, Nigerian, South African? What do I see here? South Africa, Australia, Germany, Barcelona, Indian, Kenyan, Irish, Pakistani. Suriname. Baka, bro. Hungary, Thailand, Texan, nice. Good morning, my friend. Good morning, Jack of Trades. Good to see you here. Okay, wow. So dollar CAD has been pushing up here. Didn't close below for our trade. So this is why, number one, we didn't have a trade confirmation anyways, because we had to see a candle closure below this low. We had to see price breaking down and close below this level. But also the news, right? We knew it was going to be important. We knew it was going to be incredibly important for us to understand what's going on before we would execute a position. So to be really honest with you, I don't think it's smart to execute a position right now at the moment. I think the market is setting up. You can look at the dollar. You can look at the whole day. I think the market is setting up for tomorrow. Tomorrow is where, in my opinion, it's at. That's what I think is going to happen here. You can see it on even the S right now. We're rejecting, but you will see there is no follow through here. So I think the wise thing is here to really understand that the market is preparing for the NFP. And that the best way to get involved is either post NFP or pre NFP, but only London session if you get a chance to get in. Because before, it's still fine if there's volume, but if there's no volume, it doesn't make any sense anyways, right here. Lorenzo, what's our thought on the FIB retracements? FIB retracements are sometimes people use FIB retracement in my group. I'm personally not really using them in my trading. I'm not using them in my trading. No. For gold. So for gold is, the thing about gold right now is if you look here at the gold chart and you look at the last 3 days, then gold right now is just ranging, right? It's holding above a level at 35, 37. You see how it's reacting from that level right now. But that's not necessarily a really good place to enter a position. The better place for me is the continuation longs for there, or the pullbacks for continuation longs from there. And shorting, in my opinion, is one of the most trickiest things to do right now at the moment. Wow, look at that dollar cap, by the way. Look at how it's holding up in this internal range. So even though, you know, we're getting and we're waiting for this to play out, let's say we're waiting for price to break down, you see how important sometimes that internal confirmation is, right? How that follow through here changes everything. It's really good to be aware of that. Yeah, so for gold, follow through above the 35.63. That's what I'm going to look at. Or price pulls back. I rather let price come down first, or tomorrow maybe even, for it to then continue to go higher. Let's see. The daily candle doesn't look bad at all to me, by the way. The daily candle looks actually pretty decent. The weekly candle looks really good. The 12-hour demand is still there. There's so many good things about gold still. That a pullback is definitely something that we could potentially see happening. But for now, we have a lot of levels to work with anyways. Lorenzo, how is your combine doing? I know he had 4 funded accounts, 1 combine. My combine, yeah, I started a combine, 1 more combine last week or 2 weeks at the end of August. I'm always using 1 account to test things with and to play around with. Want to get back to 5 accounts again, so let me pull it up. I mean, there is not much data, to be really honest with you. Okay. So we're up 5.6k. We need 3.5k more for funding. We are at a 69% win rate, 2.76 R for now, which is pretty good. But that's just because of Wednesday loss, Tuesday win, Monday break even, Thursday win, Wednesday win. So there's not much data, but you don't need, I mean, it's a combine. So it doesn't really matter much, right? But, I mean, yeah, 4.5 more. That could be like 2 trades. Gold will be the one to go down. Gold will be the one you want to go down. I want actually gold to push up higher, to be honest with you. I want to see gold pushing further, breaking above the 3563, and then simply look for the continuation play here. So with the NFP, you never know what's going to happen, right? Price could easily break down. Price could come back towards the Sunday open, the opening price of the week as well. But the better plays are going to be for sure post NFP. Let's say NFP comes out at 8:30. You wait for the New York Stock Exchange to open up. If I would trade the NFP day, I would do it like this. NFP comes out 8:30. Whoa. 8:30. I would wait 1 hour from that moment. 1 hour post 8:30. Not 30 minutes, not until the hourly candle closure. At 9, no. 1 hour. I would wait for the New York Stock Exchange to open up. Okay? And then I would look at gold and I would look at all the previous ranges that were built. And I would say, okay, are we pulling back into a range? Are we manipulating from a range? And we're pulling back around the New York Stock Exchange open into a range. That's the moment I would potentially execute a position if I would trade the NFP. I would never trade the NFP here for now, at least, unless it's just for fun. I would not trade the NFP in, let's say, a 1 hour window. So the rule is for me, 1 hour post NFP and New York Stock Exchange open up and looking at range, look at where price is at from there. Usually what you see happening, and this is what I've seen a lot during the NFP, sometimes you see a massive expansion, but a lot of times price breaks down and then suddenly it pulls back right as when the candle closes, right at the opening price of where the candle opened up. Right? You guys recognize that? You should really focus on that because I see this happening all the time. The NFP comes out, candle, massive, and then you see that slow back, build up back towards the exact place where the candle opened up here. It truly happens a lot. But for you, if you trade the NFP, I'll be very cautious. You never know what's going to happen. You have no control over the outcome. It's truly gambling if you take a trade before. There is one strategy I'll play around with sometimes, and that is the limit order strategy. Maybe some of you guys know it because I did it last year. That is the one exemption I would take trades during the NFP. But it doesn't always work, doesn't always play out very, very precisely. Very much. If it plays out, it's like on the dot. It's like literally on the dot. But the reality is I would not trade 1 hour within that 1 hour frame. For sure. But yeah, that's what I want to see on gold, guys. That's truly what I want to see on gold. Anything besides that is just not going to work out, in my opinion. I really want to see gold breaking higher or breaking lower first. And I think shorting is just not the wisest thing to do in, let's say, a lower time frame, trend right now. Or higher time frame uptrend. Lorenzo, remember you did that and you was one pip away from your entry. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Exactly. Lorenzo, show me one of the swing trades that you took, your favorites. I'm going to lead you over the next coming weeks. You will see a lot more swing things that I'm going to talk about. How many of you guys are taking swing positions, swing trades? And with swing trades, I mean, you hold your trades at least a week. At least a week. Yeah. What I like to do personally, I like to just have my strategy. I like to execute on a day-to-day basis, lower time frame. Execute, build my capital. Put that capital on a live account. And swing trade with that live account with a macro approach, higher time frame. Lorenzo, I posted another video on Telegram. You have to watch this one. It's about Tory trades. Okay, okay. What is that?
So I royally effed up, royally messed up. Like, in all 10 years of trading, this is my biggest lapse in judgment. Worst decision. I mean, this isn't gonna be fun to talk about. It's not gonna make me look great, and it is what it is. Since I have set the theme and set the tone for transparency, I have removed myself of the luxury of getting to pick and choose what trades I get to talk about. So, what did I do? I went on tilt. I'm human. It sucks. It was a shitty trade. It was a really crummy trade. I'll give you guys the lowdown on how it went down. At the beginning of July, I think it was like first week of July, I'm sitting in my living room and watching a podcast with some pretty big traders, ones that I look up to, that I admire. And I'm listening to their stories, which I already know all their stories, but I'm listening to the trades that they're placing and the money that they're making, and realizing that I've been trading for just as long as these guys really messed me up. And I'm watching the podcast, and of course, I get an alert at the same time. A+ setup in platinum. The podcast is very long, so I had some time to kind of mull this position over. I went in. I went in heavy. I went in 40 contracts on a trade, over leveraged. Before I had gotten into the trade, I had already created this like preconceived notion of exactly how this was going to play out in my head. I did my top-down analysis. I married this position that night, and everything pointed to platinum falling. It was a short position. A 3-touch point upward trend line got broken, and
Yeah, so the thing is, she is profitable. It is proven that she's profitable, right? She has been showing all these, you know, all her statements, everything pretty much she has been showing. So she is profitable, I guess.
everything was pointing to short positions. I'm talking 11-year high, X percentage gain to the upside. Like, I had done research in the past, and it was like every time it had gotten to this key level, it completely fell off a cliff. Multiple years before, I think during COVID, during Ukraine, and one other time, like back in 2007. And it had reached this level and completely tanked. So I wanted to make my first 6-figure trade, and I already saw it in my head. I placed a trade, 40 contracts. We went in heavy. In addition to going in heavy, I broke my rules. I believe a week later, it had consolidated, and then a week later, my exit was presented, and I didn't exit. Removed the stop, and was married to this position. Everything had to work. In my head, it had to happen. Price went against me.
She almost lost $250,000. $250,000. How much is her? What's her balance? Like, what is her actual balance then? $250,000.
$150,000 worth of drawdown. I think the stress of that trade probably took years off my life. Yay, you get to reap the consequences of your own actions. Congratulations, Tori. This is embarrassing. It is what it is. I'm gonna walk you guys through the trade. I'm gonna show you what happened. But I'm gonna start by saying this, that this is a bad trade. It in no way means that I am a bad trader. This one trade does not negate my 10 years of experience in the markets, my years and years and years and years of showcasing my transparency.
If she would have blown up her account, right? Because obviously she did not. Otherwise, I guess, I'm not sure if she would really share it. If she would blow up her account, would that be considered being a bad trader, yes or no? What do you think?
So let's get into it. I'm gonna just continue to show you guys how human I am and how real I am. And I highly doubt you're ever gonna find another trader that showcases themselves going on tilt. So let's get into it. All right, this is the trade. We've got our 3 touch point trend line break. It had over 3 touch points. 1, 2.
She made 90K on this one, yeah?
The first touch point of the trend line, 2, 3, 4. We got the break. I got into my position. Too heavy. I over leveraged. 40 contracts. We're up. We're in drawdown. We're up. We're in drawdown. We're up. We get the break. We get the break here. I should have just taken my $35,000 loss. That was my anticipated risk for this trade. That would have been one of my biggest losses because I was in 40 contracts.
She took $35,000 risk on her trade. So her original stop loss was sitting at $35,000. But she was $250,000 in drawdown.
Trade, but it still would have been within my risk parameters. This was according to the strategy. It was a scenario where it didn't work out, and I should have closed my trade. I just didn't. I didn't. I was so convinced. I did everything. I did everything to convince myself that this trade was going to work out and I needed to stay in. So I marked up this key level. It got to it before, fell off. It got to it before, fell off. If it can get to it and fall off again, then I'm good. I'm safe, and it was a great decision to move my stop. To remove my stop.
Honestly, from an LTA perspective, this would actually for us, and I'm not going to be here, trust me, I'm not going to be here sitting Mr. Hindsight because it's easy to say that shit afterwards, right? But if we are in an uptrend and price pulls back into this range, I would never short above that range. What did we literally just talked about? We literally just talked about price ranges. It consolidated. It breaks to the upside. It breaks below this range. It pulls back into that range. Now you're slightly below, but now you have the ultimate confirmation to go short here. You have the ultimate confirmation. Because now we can look simply for the continuation, boom, towards the downside from there. Right? Now you simply have just the consolidation here, the expansion, the pullback, and then the continuation to the upside. You're in a higher time frame trend right there. But yeah, that's easy to say, Mr. Hindsight, I get it. But from a trading setup standpoint, from like a playbook standpoint, this is where the short really becomes relevant, in my opinion.
To it and started falling off. 4 hours after 4 hours after 4 hours after 4 hours after 4 hours, I felt like my ego was so boosted. Even though I was in drawdown, I was like, oh, okay, I was a little early, but this is the one. It solidified already my thinking of, okay, let's remove the stop, let's break the rules. And it made me feel like it just gave confirmation to the bad decision. That's all there is to it. I thought this was it. I just got in a little bit early. Now it's rolling over. It didn't. I froze. When it got up here, I froze. It was excruciating. When I took this position,
there is one thing that I can like say for sure, especially with like larger swing trading positions. There's one thing that's true, and that is the more you're in drawdown, the harder it gets to close your position. Like the easier it should be for you to make that decision that you should get out. But the more you're in drawdown, the more you're going to hope it's going to turn around. And the harder it's going to be. So the longer you wait, the harder it is going to be here to to just simply close your position.
I talked to my students about it. I showed them. They saw everything. They saw my entry. They saw when I was supposed to get out. And then when I had to teach the next day, they got to see this drawdown. And it was tough. I had to tell my students that I broke my rules and that I'm sitting in the most amount of drawdown I ever have. That was one of the hardest things to do ever. I don't get to hide this. I don't get to just go in a room and lock myself and maybe one day pretend like this trade never happened. I've got so many eyes on me. So was I going through an identity crisis? Sure, yeah. I'm like, wow, all the haters are finally going to get what they've all asked for. They've all just been praying for my downfall, and they finally got it. Way to go. They win. I thought that was what was going to happen. It kept going higher, higher and higher and higher. 3 weeks later of excruciating drawdown, price fell.
I was in a crypto position. I was in a long position at the end of the bull run, the end of the last bull run in 2021. and I was in a $70,000 position in drawdown, literally almost at like liquidation point, I opened a short against my long to stay in the position so I could kind of balance it out and to be alive. I stayed in that position for 6 months, hoping it would turn around. 6 months of waking up in my bed. Am I liquidated now? Am I liquidated now? Going to bed for 6 months in my bed, looking at my phone if I was liquidated or not. It's the worst feeling. So she went through it for 3 weeks. I went through this shit for 6 fucking months.
I closed my position. I made $90,000. It's not something to be proud of. I broke every rule in the book. The setup was great. It was a 3 touch point trendline break. I created a high risk scenario by going in way too heavy in position size and made every mistake that I possibly could. Way too heavy in position. This wasn't part of the plan to remove the stop. I broke my rules and I didn't cut my loss. It was an awful trade. It sucked. Does this mean I'm a bad trader? No. It means I'm human. It means I get...
It's almost like, you know, you're walking on the street and you're like, fuck, where's my wallet? Where the fuck is my wallet? Right? That feeling I had for 6 months straight, sitting my ass.
My one pass of going on tilt. And I hope that you can learn from this and see this. I don't know how... I'm never going to be able to articulate how painful that was, that drawdown. The best way that I can explain it is that I truly think the amount of stress that I went through in that trade took years off of my life. So I hope you can learn from this. I've learned a lot from this, but I will say some of you guys are going to see this trade, especially the people that just continue to pray for my downfall, continue to...
You know what I would do in this case? If you publicly make a video about this, and you show this trade, and you acknowledge the fact that this is an absolute big mistake that she made, like an absolute mistake, she should never do that. You know, she risked $35,000 on her position. She lost almost 250K, or at least she was $250,000 in drawdown. I can guarantee you that's like at least, what, 50% of her balance. But she still won the trade, right? So she won the trade. That means that she made 90K. I would give this to a charity, honestly. I would give this to a charity. I would say, take this as a lesson. I'm going to donate at least partial of this money, and I'm going to give it to some, you know, school in Timbuktu, whatever the case. I don't care. But that is something that you should be doing if you would be sharing this publicly. And I think that will be awesome. I think that will be an incredible example of how to deal with bad trades. Because that's how you teach yourself a lesson. And you should teach yourself a lesson when you make that mistake.
The mistakes that I made from it is, this was heavy psychology. I knew exactly when to get out of this trade. I knew exactly how much of a loss I was supposed to take, and I didn't do it. I compared myself to these other guys on social media. I am chasing this 6-figure trade that I thought that I should have by now, that I should have had by now. I still didn't get it. Still didn't get the 6-figure trade after all that. I broke my rules and I over-leveraged. It sucked. Holding through $250,000 worth of drawdown was the most excruciating thing I've ever done in my life. And I'm the only one that gets to reap the consequences. If anyone would have tried to replicate this trade, there is a very high probability that they would have either gotten...
Honestly, what would have happened if you got liquidated here? Because the fact that she made $90,000 is already by default pretty insane, right? What would happen if she would get liquidated on the spot $500,000? I know you get, you know, I know she's making money from course. I know all these other layers. So obviously, you know, you could write it off as a business expense, but that would change the game completely. And 90% of the time, people like that get just simply liquidated. That's just the facts.
Margin called or position closed or blown their account. I was fortunate. I didn't. Price could have gone higher. It didn't. So I messed up. This shows that I'm human. This shows that I make mistakes. This shows that I truly show the highs and the lows of the trading world, the trading industry. This is real. Why would I post this if it made me look so bad? And it's just because I've taken the vow of transparency. I have taken the vow of honesty and being ethical, which seems to not be part of the industry anymore. But this is me being human. I mean,
That's true. Isn't that true? That's a fair point. She has a fair point here. The reason why I'm saying that is because most people don't care about the loser. This is why every guy chases the Lambos, chases the good life, chases everything, because that's what works. That's what attracts, right? The reality of this gauges more interest from a very negative standpoint in most cases. So, hey, she has some fair point.
I'm bummed. It sucks. This was a bad trade. This was a lapse in judgment. This was shitty. I'm still going to be around. I'm still here. So, and I will continue to be here. So this is a moment where you guys got to finally see it. Tory trades went on tilt. And here we are talking about it. For everyone that has supported me and my journey and my trading, please learn from this mistake. Please allow me to show you exactly what it looks like. This is it right here. And this is what you don't want to do. If your psychology is already off to begin with, don't even look at the charts. I already knew as I'm watching this podcast. It was an incredible podcast. But it was truly like the comparison factor. And I hope that you can learn from this. And I hope that you can understand that if you did something very similar to this, you probably wouldn't have made it through to the other side. You probably wouldn't have closed at the 90,000. You probably wouldn't have been able to hold through the amount of drawdown that I did. It is what it is. I appreciate everyone that has been supportive of me and my trading and my journey. And I hope this sheds a light, even though it's awful. It's not fun. I just wanted to show this to you guys. It's not a great one. And here is to many more trades. I'm not going anywhere, guys. I'm sticking around. So for all of you that hate to see it, continue to watch and continue to get as much engagement and as many views as you can anytime you mention my name, because I'm not going anywhere. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
This is how it should be, right? And the beautiful thing about losing, guys, the beautiful thing about losing a trade is the fact that if you lose a trade, the winners become just so much sweeter. The winners become so much better. That's just the reality. All right, so gold is still chilling around. The volume is pretty low overall here. Dollar cat never broke, gave us that entry confirmation, unfortunately. Is now at the POC. This is so important. You see how important this range is actually for us to execute a position on. I hope you understand and see why we waited for that breakdown and that confirmation before we would go short on the dollar against the Canadian dollar here. So that removes the whole conspiracy theory about me saying it's gonna come down or it's gonna come up. No, if it's coming down and if it breaks below, then we would take a trade, then we would go short here and we would execute a position. But that's what happens when there is news. Low volume news, no confirmation, no closure below that level. So yeah, that would be the ideal case scenario, obviously. And for gold, let's see if we can break down here. Daisy says people not wanting others to succeed. It's just hibbity jibbity energy. 100%. People are completely, extremely envy from nature. Because says most YouTube traders are just marketers, so it defeats their purpose to show losses that extend. Facts. We've seen this. Lorenzo, what is the turning point that helped you change your game for the better? A lot of pain, a lot of suffering. There is no single reason why I became a better trader myself. My biggest downfall at the beginning was not having a clear process to follow, a clear system to follow. Not sticking to my rules, not being disciplined enough to test something properly for 30 times in a row without changing a single thing, not being obsessed with the moment, not being obsessed with the now, not being obsessed with making money and thinking about making money and thinking how much money I'm going to make, because in most cases, my friends, the money is completely irrelevant. The money will be thrown at you the moment you stop caring about the money. Many of you motherfuckers are unprofitable because you're too obsessed with making money right from the start. And if not right from the start, you're obsessed with the numbers behind it. The numbers shouldn't matter. It's the capital that matters. And if you don't have enough capital, prop firms are the way to go, right? This is the reason why people go to prop firms. It's because they can build their capital up quite quickly from there. There was one thing that I've learned from a guy, and he gave me some serious advice. That was actually one of the coolest things that I've actually heard for a while. And that is the following advice. If you are trading a prop firm, and I didn't even thought about this before, but I was like, man, that's actually so good. And he said, if you trade with any major prop firm, they allow you to use trade copiers. So that means that you can use, even on Forex prop firms, CFD firms, you can use a tool. It's called Social Trader Tools. I will pick it up for you right now. I'm not a sponsor of this whatsoever. It's called Social Trader Tools. This pretty much copies your trades if you use MetaTrader, okay? You can connect your trades, etc. Now, what I've seen people do is they have a $1,000 personal account with real money on it, and they're used to the number 1,000, right? So they trade 1% on a $1,000 account. That's like $10 risk. And they connect 5 prop firm challenges to that account. A $100,000 challenge, a $200,000 challenge, you know, a $50,000 challenge. Big numbers. But they trade only from that $1,000 account with 10% risk per trade. So because they're doing that, and because you pretty much copy your trades from that personal account with only $10 risk, you don't have that feeling that you would have if you would be trading from a $100,000 account. It's pretty fucking genius to me, because it completely eliminates all the worries, right? About the big numbers, the big number fear. When you take a $2,000 risk, $10,000 risk, whatever the case may be here, right? $10 risk on paper is easier than risking $1,000. It's just how your brain works. It's just the facts. If you're not used to it, doing this helped tremendous amount of traders. I thought it was fucking genius when I heard it. And many firms actually just allow it to do this as well. So that means if you risk 1% on your personal account, it automatically copies that trade to the prop firm challenge. You also risk 1% automatically on that prop firm challenge. So if you risk $1,000, or if you risk $10 on your personal, you risk $1,000 on your prop firm challenge. It's going to violate the account live as they're not allowed copy trading. Well, maybe. If that's the case, then you at least have a live account. One advice for being consistent. Okay, one advice that I can give you is try what we call, and this is something that we do all the time in our community, in our VIP community with our guys. The one thing that we do is we do what we call the 30 trade challenge. Okay. Now, what is the 30 trade challenge? The 30 trade challenge is a challenge where you take 30 trades and you follow an exact system. You don't care about the outcome of that system after the 30 trades. You don't care. Your only objective is to trade the exact same type of pattern, like the CME or the CERC that we talk about, 30 times without changing anything. That data is what you utilize later on as your foundation. So let's say you go for a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. That means you can win around 35% of your positions. If you win 35% of your trades, you would pretty much break even on a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. Okay? Now let's say you would have a 40% win rate. Now you're profitable, right? Now you're making money. But let's say you do 30 trades, one pattern, and you get a 30% win rate. You will be slightly unprofitable, but that's the first 30 trades you take. You then do the research upon these 30 trades. You understand why, what went wrong. You try to investigate, see what happened. And then you take another 30 trades and you make that improvement. And you do that 5 times in a row. 150 trades in total. I can guarantee you, you will be a completely new person after the 150 trades this way. Guaranteed. Bro, check Matt Donlevy before you go. Okay, let's check it out. Last thing. Matt Donlevy. Is that a trader? Okay, what's this? We're going to listen to this later on. Why? Because these are very long videos. We have to really pay attention to this in order to really go through it. But we definitely will. We definitely will. Keep it up. And also, guys, for you guys in a group, if you want to see this more often, the commentary, you want to look at some content while we're waiting for setups, especially on slower days, for example. And if you are on your Telegram, you can post everything that you want me to review right in here. We can go over it right here. Okay. Okay, guys, I think that's it for today's session. We're going to keep it a bit shorter than usual here. The reason why is pretty simple. NFP is coming tomorrow. We talked about this already. The thing about this is that the NFP is going to be extremely important. We already know that. The confirmation will come after we talked about this. I'll not trade anything around the NFP. I would wait for an hourly closure. 1 hour past the NFP. So the New York Stock Exchange to open after that. And then boom. That's a 1 hour past. And then wait for the right confirmations from there here. Overall, big movements. Hopefully tomorrow. And I hope gold starts moving after that. I hope after the NFP, we start seeing some normal price action again. Some normal movement. And yeah, we want to make sure that we stay profitable. Okay? And that we close at least week 1 profitable. That's my goal. Keep week 1 profitable. And that's how I review the markets, right? I try to look at it from a week-by-week standpoint. Okay? Losing days, yes. Week by week, I want to stay profitable. Doesn't always happen. I have some bad weeks in between. But the goal is to keep that as high as possible and really work my way towards the end of the week profitable. So if I start the week strong, I'm usually a little bit more conservative throughout the end of the week. If I start the end of the beginning of the week very bad, then I go on tilt. No, I'm joking. You know what to do. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Looking forward to see you in the next stream here. I'm going to be back on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. In our VIP group, we're going to talk about the NFP tomorrow. So for the guys in the NFP, I'm going to be live tomorrow in the VIP, in our Discord, and in our Telegram right here. You can get the opportunity to join our Telegram. You can follow the instructions by clicking on the link in the description below, right here. Click on the link below, click on the book, download either the free ebook and follow the email sequence as well. You should have the book anyway, so you should actually read the book because this is our framework. This is how we trade live, okay? or click on our Telegram and get familiar and follow the exact steps to join us along the way for setups outside of the streams on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Thursday. Thank you guys very much. You guys were absolute legends. It was an amazing thing. We're going to do definitely more commentary. I think it's... I think we have something here, G's. I think we have something here. I think so. Okay? All right. Thank you guys very much. Take care. And I'm going to see you guys very, very soon. You guys are the best. It's good to be back on the stream. I had an amazing first week. We're going to kill it. We're going to absolutely kill it.
Hey.
Cheers. Peace out.
Yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay, hey, yeah, ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra. Fuck with me, you know that I got it. Come with me, let's take a trip to the islands. We up on the jet, we'll do more than just fly on it. Stand on that hill, you gon' die on it. Boom, boom. Baby, I'm not one of them, you should try on it. Miss me with all that, I'm on it and next. Fuck this up, I send you back to your ex. But good luck with that, this is big as it gets. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. A moment can live on forever. Yeah. Oh shit, they don't let me shoot a whole clip. Firepower in this coalition. We just turned the field into a demolition. It was desolate, but I had premonition. I was training for war every exhibition, every extra mission, every enemy listening. Get off my dick, I got bad intentions. Make it right every wrong, and I'm back with a vengeance. I show you the ropes. Peace in my town, I can show you the coast. Up in the shots if they wanted to smoke. If you know, then you know. Suited up, bitch, my whole team do the same. Don't you forget who created the game. Ready for war, I was born with grenades.